Hello, friends. Hello, family. I'm just hooking up with a new friend in my community group, in my natural health community. Just people that I bump into, along the way to healing myself. Just others that I find along the way that are healing themselves. And just sharing that story. I think when people hear that story from different perspectives, it kind of helps them to connect with it in a different way. So I like to have different people on for a health chat. We just talk about health, what health means, what you found out that health means, what happened to your health. Come on, tell us what happened to you, what happened with your health, what you did, what you found out, what you learned, and now what you're saying and doing about your health. Like, tell us your story. Like, tell me about yourself, brother. How did I get to, bump into you on the World Wide Web? Like, how did I find you?
Well, I guess there's a lot of different aspects to it, but I mean, what gives us health problems are generally a proverbial shitstorm. I suspect that I was injured from vaccinations. I always had problems with reading comprehension. I was quick to anger. Um, I had a lot of issues that really pointed towards autism. And incidentally, I was born in '82, so I was still receiving those vaccinations in the largest amount with the real mercury in them prior to them changing them, because they changed them in '82, but they were still giving the grandfathered in stuff from the year before. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Vaxxed. Psychological trauma also works numbers on a person's mental health. My dad committed suicide when I was 5. So I mean, I'm sure that created issues. And I went into drug addiction for probably about 21 years straight. I did my first line of cocaine at 10. And yeah, I know, right? It just spiraled out of control from there. My first major addiction, I was addicted to pot for 7 years. I turned about 19 and I got in trouble with the law. So I ended up doing meth because it was easier to clean out of my system, only took a couple days. Once I got off meth around 24, I drank heavily for another 7 years. And I finally found, yeah, I know, I just put myself through the ringer, you know, but at around 31, I sobered up. I opened up my own business, and I just, yeah, I literally had lost my license, and I hired somebody to drive me just so I could run errands and do whatever I needed to do. And I started a construction company, exteriors, roofing, siding. Um, it was pretty cool. I had worked really hard, and I blew up my back, and it was really bad. I had herniated a disc, bulged a disc, flattened a disc, and when they did X-rays and an MRI, they told me that I was suffering from degenerative disc disease. So I thought it was an injury from lifting a bundle of shingles, but I really think like I had done that 10,000 times before, and it was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I think I was degenerating prior to that. And that's kind of where things changed. I was in such bad shape, and I was in so much pain, and everybody I was talking to was telling me that surgery was the best thing they ever did. It made them feel so much better, or it was the worst decision they ever made. And I knew the amount of pain I was in, but at the same time, I almost killed myself because I didn't want to live in that amount of pain. And I stumbled on this witch doctor on the internet, and his name was Dr. Sebi. And I switched to there was no GMOs. It was whole food, plant-based, get rid of all the animal products. And overnight, I felt so much better. But I got to a point where, despite being one of the healthiest diets I had found, I plateaued and I wasn't getting any better. And having gotten a taste of feeling better, having gotten a taste of mental clarity for the first time in my life, being sober and struggling and wanting better, uh, I realized that I was still suffering from serious addiction issues, but I didn't realize that I had cross addicted or what I had cross addicted to. And I stumbled on, I can't even remember the article, but it was on raw food. And it was stating that cooked food was addictive. And I decided to take this Dr. Sebi diet I was employing that I had plateaued out on and try not to eat cooked food for 3 days. I broke down into cold sweats, got nauseous. I even threw up once, and I ended up making my potatoes using squash and like Dr. Sebi ingredients on the grill. I broke down. I failed hard. Total relapse moment. And I realized that the food I was taught to eat by my parents, that when you're preparing it, even if you're using the most perfect ingredients, when you heat it, you create chemical reactions and you damage that food and you turn it into something it's not. And I realized that's why I had plateaued. So I got rid of that. Oh, I should mention by this point, I had gotten rid of my herniated disc, my bulging disc, and I had corrected the space within my spinal column. My scalp stopped itching so bad. I should mention more symptoms. My scalp would itch so bad when I would itch it or scratch it till it would freaking bleed. It was, yeah, I was so acidic, but I didn't realize my eating habits, my drinking habits, my drug habits, my ingestion habits had made me turn completely acidic and had me rotting from the inside out. Um,
And emotionally, I bet too.
yeah, I was a mess. And I was raised by a mother that ate the same way. I literally won a bet for $10 from somebody one time because I bet him I bought my mom a 70-inch TV for Christmas. And I bet him that she would bitch about it. Just, when you eat wrong, you become a negative, whiny person. You know what I mean? And I learned to be negative from her. And when I started eating right, I started noticing the negativity. And it's amazing the difference in mental health and mood. I mean, I went from being a miserable drug addict that experienced every kind of trauma you could possibly imagine to being like, that's okay, no big deal. Life's good. I could take the death of a loved one and turn it into a positive thing these days. And I know how crazy that sounds, but I literally, when people are talking to me, when stuff like that happens, I'll look at them and I'll tell them, it's not a good thing, but change promotes growth. And it really does, like change in our lives promotes us to grow as people. And, you got to look at things as the glass is half full. You don't have to, but it sure makes things better. I don't want to spend my life not enjoying it. You know what I mean? So, um, other things I learned on my healing journey. Once I learned not to incorporate cooked food, then I learned about the chemical reactions, the Maillard molecules. Then I learned about the electromagnetic field of the earth and grounding. I don't know. Have you ever seen a documentary on grounding? Okay, so you understand that's one of our food sources. So there's a lot of different aspects, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm the ex-con in the group. I'm the activist. I'm the flag burner. I'm the guy that, you know what I mean? You'd never think has acquired the type of knowledge I've acquired, but when people run into like stage 4 terminal diagnoses and stuff like that, I'm kind of the conspiracy theorist. When they have no hope, they go to me these days. And I've walked over a dozen people through terminal diagnoses, and it's not like I've healed anybody. I've just taken the time to read and understand what causes the problems, and I've been able to point people towards the stuff that will allow their body to heal it, because I'm not healing shit, their body is. That's how the body works. We just got to get out of the way of ourselves and stop our body from stopping it from healing, you know. You got anything to add to this?
This is it, brother. I think you're saying it, you're telling it like it is. You know what? It's just great to hear it from another voice, you know, just hear it in a different way. Because that's what it is, you know, just allowing balance to come back to the body, taking away whatever is the fire that's being put upon the body. Like if you're polluting the body in some way with some sort of, you know, toxin, some sort of chemicals, some sort of drugs, some sort of, you know, acidic thing that's not natural. If you take pollution and you spray it all over nature, like nature becomes denatured by the pollution.
Yeah.
So if you want to clean up the nature, you take the pollution away, and the nature actually balances itself over some time.
Yeah.
All you got to do is take the polluting factor away. So whatever is denaturing you, whatever is pulling you out of natural balance, just take that away and start restoring natural things, live things, fruits and vegetables and juices, fasting, just emptying out the body, getting more, like you said, grounding, in contact with the earth, natural energy from the light or from the earth, or from even the natural energy of inspiration within yourself. Like that's an energy. That's a solar inner energy. There's a sun outside, as above, so below. There's a sun inside. That's your solar plexus, right?
We
and so you
can't
can
get good. Yep.
What's
Without
that?
being positive, we ain't getting better, are we, brother?
That's the thing. If you haven't got a hopeful outlook, like if you haven't got a hopeful prognosis, you're going into the sink, you know. And this is the thing that the doctors are doing, is they give you an unhopeful prognosis. Well, listen, sir, you've got stage 4 cancer, stage 1, 2, 3, 4 cancer. And, you know, the prognosis is, well, 75% of people die if you don't take action on this right now and remove it, or move forward with some chemical treatment of it. So this is what you're told. And then it's like, holy shit, now you're in a panic reactive situation. So you pull the trigger because you're in a reaction, because that's how it's been presented to you, rather than, hey, you know what, your body's gotten acidic. Instead of thinking like, oh boy, this is a good sign for you to make a change in the way you're living, no, we'll just cut it right out of you.
It's insane.
That's going to fix the problem. That doesn't fix the problem. And so,
especially when they cut up the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is your body's waste system. You cut that up, it can't get rid of the waste. And then they wonder why it comes back all the time. It's coming back because your body's acidic. Get rid of the acids, get rid of the waste.
Just remove the gland, just remove the organ, just remove the mess, just pull it out of there. And whatever lymph node or whatever you're pulling out of there, it doesn't matter. Like, this is the medical system mental. If we can't get our heads around that reality, we can't see like the illusion that we're stuck in. Like, that is not health. That is not healthy, and that is not a healthy approach. Now, you know, no disrespect to any doctors who are doing what they think is healthy for people, but that is not natural health, and that's not what we're selling. I tell people, if you want to get healthy, let's get around healthy people. Let's get around a healthy approach. If you want to be sick, you go to the doctor when you get sick. You don't go to the doctor to get healthy. If you want to get healthy, you move to a health professional. Let's talk about health. Let's talk about prevention. Let's talk about positive action. Let's talk about taking control of ourselves, self-empowerment. Let's talk about inspiration, motivation, physical action, mental action. Let's talk about actions that create change. This is how change happens, by, speaking about it, thinking about it, visualizing it, getting to those sort of conversations. This is what pulls us forward: dialogue, relationship, communication. This is how it moves forward. We're bringing forward light energy. We're bringing forward emotional healing. We're bringing forward change for the planet, more light, more love in the body. We're emptying out the body so it can hold more light. We're emptying out the shadow, the darkness, the fearful emotions, so that the body can be empty and energy can flow freely through the body. We want to get back into flow. We've gotten stagnant from inactivity. We've gotten stagnant from stagnant, low energy foods. We've been stagnant with limited beliefs, telling us that we're controlled by calories and proteins, and this is how we're controlled, making us seem like we are just this small little physical thing, and not acknowledging our, boundless infiniteness, our soul space, our higher energy self, our energy body, our emotional body, our feminine body, our creativity, our imagination. This is our vision, not talking about our possibility. This is what we got to step into: possibility. Hopeful energy is possibility. Like getting out of worrying about my health, getting into thinking about how I'm going to get healthy. Just thinking about how it is that you get healthy, getting into a healthy thought process, not a worried one.
Yeah. Well, even if you're not a positive person and you're not in that healthy state yet, I mean, it's brutally obvious there are different ways of doing things and ways that actually work that are not these industries. I mean, if you're unhealthy and your mind isn't where you need it to be, you can get into this and start getting healthier prior to your mind turning the corner. You just got to expose yourself to the information. I mean, I could look at somebody that's angry and mean and totally understand and support them, understanding they're not healthy yet, but they have to take the action steps and put in the work. Here's where I would have people start. I would have people start with this guy right here. I grabbed a couple books from my library, just a few, because I figured it'd be worth pointing out. I'd recommend this guy. He is a professor from 100 years ago. This guy could heal anything.
Arnold Ehret?
Yes.
Yeah, man, that was the book that changed my life, bro.
Isn't he amazing? He's such a wonderful guy. And here's the wonderful thing about him. The reason I'm recommending this book, all of his books are written so simply, the average person can understand them. They're very, very simple, very to the point. That's the reason I have 3 of these books in the collection. There's The Grape Cure. Shit works. It's phenomenal. It'll point you towards monofruiting. Monofruiting is amazing. You want to feed your cells? That's how to do it, because your body gets used to digesting one thing at once and digests it more efficiently than anything. Most of the food we're eating these days doesn't even have the nutrition in it that it should. It has 1/100th of the nutrients it used to 100 years ago. And yet we are getting so much more from the fruits, So, I mean, the world's not perfect. Just focus on the right foods and your body will grab what it needs. It's a very efficient tool. And tell your body, thank you. And, thank the food. part of nature. We're connected to all this stuff. It might sound weird, but people connected with their food through prayer for thousands of years. I'm not convinced that it's the prayer or God that's making the food healthy. I think it's our communal energy. I think we're really incredible creatures, and I know I probably sound crazy saying that, but I don't care. So
we're talking about energy, brother. This is it, and this is exactly what it is. You're talking about some sort of soul energy, some sort of spirit energy, some sort of emotional energy. There is an energy that's here. It's electromagnetic energy. It's life force. Yes.
there's a science there. I can't explain it. The science might not have caught up with it, but 5 years ago, if you told somebody that the geomagnetic field of the earth feeds you, most people would think you're batshit crazy. And yet now there's science proving it. You know, the sunlight, that's a food source, that's energy. We are creatures of consumption, and we need to set ourselves up to be able to consume what's going to make our cells thrive. And here's another book. This is Goodbye Germ Theory. And this is why we shouldn't be injecting weird stuff in our body. I grabbed all 3 of these books because they're very easy reads. This one claims to be an easy read, but I really struggled with it, but I have learning disabilities. And this one's like the thinnest, allegedly easiest book out of all of them, but it's
Iridology?
Yes, iridology. I would definitely recommend going down that path. And this seemed to be the easiest book I could find, but I'm struggling with it. But I'm still trying, and I will learn it. It takes time. My goal is to become a great healer. So far, I can cure people. Well, I can help cure people of stuff like cancer, minor ailments. I haven't helped anybody detox out anything major as far as viruses go. Like I'm not quite to that point, and I think I need to learn more about herbs to get there, you know, like AIDS or herpes or stuff like that. But I do know that the body can heal, and I have pointed people in the right direction. And, you know, I've seen enough witness statements, and I know of enough healers that can do stuff like that, that I refer people to people that can help them. But, you know, I'm only so far in my journey, but I'm getting there. I'd like to be like this guy, Dr. Morse. Do you know Dr. Morse? This book is not a joke, people. This should be the last book you read, because this one is literally, this is the holy grail. This guy is honestly currently the best healer on the planet, and he can heal anybody of anything. And he's just amazing, positive. I don't know, I'd say light, for lack of a better word to describe him. Tell me he isn't a light source. So.
Brother, this has been amazing. This has been amazing. I'm glad I've gotten to know you, gotten to meet you. Hopefully, I'd like to get you into my chat group so we can get onto some daily chats and daily community connection sharing. I'd like to connect again like this. We got to chat again. I've got to run right now today because I got to pick up my son from soccer practice, but I'm glad I got to connect with you and at least get your story started. And hopefully, you know, we're going to get you posted in my group, making yourself accountable with me and with us on a daily basis, brother. Let's grow it from here. This is how it happens, through relationship, through dialogue, through communication. This is how we share the light, bro.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate you, buddy. You have a good day. Tell your kid I said hi.
Bro.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.